against the Lakers. Oof. So things did not go well in the desert last night. Yes, Bradley Beal returned, and so did KD. But Austin Reeves and the Lakers defense, who we talked about, I think, 2 days ago, they got shredded. Phoenix with a 127-100 blowout. JJ Redick not happy about the defensive effort afterward.
We may have to just look at some things defensively, particularly against really good offensive teams. They kind of got whatever they wanted. If you think about being disruptive, I think it starts there. Teams are trying to disrupt what we do, just like we're trying to disrupt what other teams are doing.
Yeah, in the NBA, there's too much talent. If you're not locked in defensively, you're going to get smoked. A couple nights ago, we watched the Denver Nuggets, a great team, at home get hammered by the New York Knicks. There's just too many good players. If you're not ready to go, you're going to, in baseball, you can play with a hangover. If I got my ace on the mound and nobody's focused, but the ace is throwing 99 and painting the corners, you can be competitive. In the NBA, you have got to be locked in, especially against teams like Phoenix, the Lakers, Denver, OKC, Minnesota, Knicks.
Well, this was a bad spot for the Lakers. The Suns were getting 2 of their stars back.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like is LeBron and AD played 35 minutes apiece in a game they lost by 27. That is just unnecessary. And I will say some Laker fans are fired up. The Lakers in the third quarter have had struggles all season.
Yeah.
Now, in the NFL, we talk adjustments at halftime, right? And the good coaches adjust and win the third quarter. Why are the Lakers always getting smoked in the third quarter? Last night it was 36-18.
You know who the best third quarter coaches in the NBA are? Kerr is a legendary third quarter coach, and Spoelstra. Yeah.
So,
JJ Redick's a rookie coach.
He's got some good game plans, clearly, and then teams are seeing what they're doing and adjusting.
If you go back to Matt LaFleur's first-year coach in the Packers, he had excellent game plans. The first year, they were a very soft third-quarter team. By the second year, Green Bay was a very good second half team. By Matt LaFleur's second year, you got the great game plans and good third quarters. So I think the difference between a pretty good coach and a good coach, with Andy Reid, you get everything. You start hot, you're good in the third quarter.
Okay, well, let's talk about the Lakers and not, Andy Reid. So I think coaching adjustments is always super underrated, and just game plan and game management in the NBA is very, very underrated. I think the average person doesn't understand actually just how deeply those adjustments happen in an NBA game. All of that attention really does get driven in the NFL and with coaching. That's why they always talk about halftime adjustments. You don't really hear those conversations being had regularly in the NBA. Like, not even on the broadcast do they really talk about it, quite frankly. I know, like, real people who understand basketball, and a lot of you basketball heads that are watching are going to know that, but I'm just thinking now, like, the average casual fan just kind of, they think basketball is so much more freestyle than it really is, because it can look like you're just kind of watching a pickup game when there's so much more method to the madness, which is, again, anyone who's played will obviously know that. But I think it's an interesting thing. I have a couple questions. One directly towards LA Lakers fans is, how do you feel about the hyper attention on JJ Redick as him being really, like, I mean, he's become the face of the franchise more than LeBron James, honestly. Like, it's just like think about it. They went to JJ Redick in this clip even, right? Not like a soundbite from LeBron or AD. And historically, that just hasn't been the case. If this was the Warriors, they wouldn't go to Kerr. They would be showing Steph Curry saying, yeah, we just weren't dialed in enough on defense. They were too disruptive. Like, I mean, obviously, coaches get interviewed, and I'm not going to act like coaches aren't, in the front and center like a Steve Kerr and whatnot. But it just feels like it's extra focused on JJ Redick more than it has been in the past for other coaches. So I'm just curious, like, how does that land for all of you? It seems like he's still kind of this hot topic of discussion of who he is as a coach, his personality, his energy. People seem to either love him or hate him or just not care whatsoever. And I'm just curious how that lands more than anything. But yeah, I mean, a game like this, I mean, you're talking about KD, Beal, like, they're always going to have potential. I don't care how great of a team you are. A team like that with dudes like that will always have the ability to own you, to dominate, to put up a score 127 to 100. That's always going to be a possibility. And it's the NBA, man. It's the NBA. It's both the best thing about the NBA and both the worst thing about the NBA. Because a game like this can effectively tell you nothing about the Lakers. You're not like, oh man, they're just not good and on that level. No, they weren't that night. That's just the way it goes. But when you're talking about players like this, again, KD, you know who I am, right? Like, of course you're going to be able to do that. And I don't see the Lakers as this like unstoppable, impenetrable team. No team is in the NBA. I mean, that's just not how basketball unfolds. It's just not. It's not the NFL. So I don't think there needs to be any type of overreaction to this game. I think the NBA especially is all about kind of like, figuring out what you need to do throughout this season, throughout the regular season, in certain different matchups, because each game is so fundamentally different and has a different flow, a different rhythm, who's hot, who's cold, right? Locking down defense. It just is so game to game to game, arguably more than any other sport out there, that there's still more games that need to be played to start to get a clearer sense of who the Lakers are and who they can be this season. And that's what my other, direct question to Los Angeles Lakers fans is now as well, is what are your expectations for this season? Do you think this team can win a championship? Can they get to the Western Conference Finals? Like, what would be the ceiling for this team that would make you feel, yep, that was a great year? And what would be disappointing? Would you be disappointed if they didn't even make it to the Western Conference Finals? Would you be disappointed if they don't make it to the finals or win, lose, whatever it may be? Like, I'm actually just trying to now grasp, like, what are the actual expectations for you this year? And it's always tough because we obviously know LeBron James is old and aging, and so it's not like you're looking at this on like a 5-year window, but it's also kind of being realistic. First year head coach, right? Some new pieces around. Like, it's the Lakers are definitely very interesting, with some obviously old players and some very young players, new head coach, iconic brand. Like, what are the realistic expectations for the Lakers? And I'm asking fans directly now at this point. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Lakers? Where they're at right now? JJ Redick, the pretty rough loss against the Suns. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. It's whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.